Brian Gibbs here, and I just wanted to touch base with you really quickly. I had a conversation earlier today with an affiliate in my company and shared an idea that I needed to share with you. We talked about the concept of facts tell and stories sell. See, when we get involved in a company or buy something, we're not really going after it for the facts. We're going more for the emotion that we get from the stories that we hear or the experiences that we have. You know, like for example, if you go and buy a car, you don't really care what happens when you stick the key in the ignition. You know, it really doesn't matter about the electricity that happens because you flip the switch on the key and it does whatever it does and ignites a spark in the spark plug, which works to burn the fuel. None of that stuff really matters. All that really matters is that when you get in the car, it goes. And what's really cool is how it goes, you know, how you feel behind the wheel and how it handles and all of those things. When your salesman's working with you, he tells you things about how you'll look in the car and how the leather feels when you sit in it and how the wood on the steering wheel feels in your hand. Things like that, things that make you feel good. So when you get started with network marketing, it's kind of the same thing. You want to maybe tell them about the compensation plan or the products or the head office or I don't know, the ingredients in the pills that you're selling, something along those lines. But none of that stuff is really important. What's important are the stories that go along with those things. So say, for example, if I wanted somebody and I was brand new and I wanted to introduce them to my company, I wouldn't really try to get too deep involved in the technology behind the company that makes the company work. Who cares? Very few people care about that. It really doesn't make that much difference. There are some people it matters to, but for the most part it really doesn't. But if I was to tell you that my sponsor who introduced me to this company was a youth minister before and owned a coffee shop in between, came from a small fishing town and just lived a normal life growing up, that kind of thing actually makes you feel like, hey, maybe you can do this, right? Because that's the question that comes into people's minds really is, can I do this? Yeah, they see other people are doing it and they think, well, you know, that person, obviously they're a natural salesman or something like that. All they're thinking is, you know, I'm not a salesman. I'm not a salesperson. I don't know if I can do this. So by telling them the stories of other people, you're showing them that other people have been in the same kind of positions that they are currently in and that they have succeeded by moving forward. So after you get done with telling your sponsor story, you're trying to develop your own story. That's the next one you want to tell. You want to tell your story. Like for me, for example, when I got involved with this company, I'd been away from network marketing for quite a while, and quite honestly, I didn't want to do anything with network marketing again, except that it's such an awesome business model, and the opportunity was right for me. Once I started working with the company and actually engaged, I made all my money back in a couple of days, all my initial startup money. So from day 3 or 4, I've been in profit ever since. Now my background's a little bit unique. I raced bicycles on an international level and I owned a web development company and I did that stuff, and that's all good and fine, and maybe some people can relate to that. But that's not the important story. Your upline story and your story aren't the important stories. The important stories are the ones you're creating through your downline. So how you want to start is you want to tell your sponsor's story, you want to tell your story, and then you want to tell somebody in your downline's story. So, for example, I work with a woman here in San Antonio, and in her first 24 hours, she introduced me to a few people. We started working together and talking, and she, you know, has no background in network marketing, and what she did was very limited. She didn't make any money at it, selling different things, and didn't have anybody really guiding or directing her. So she didn't have a lot of success, but she was looking for something, came upon this company, and within her first 24 hours made over $300. That's pretty cool for somebody who works at a racetrack, a horse track. What background in sales does that have? She actually is part of the janitorial crew there. There's no sales involved with that. So that's the direction you want to go. You want to start with your sponsor story and develop your own. After that, you want to start developing people in your team's stories, so you can relate to other people. And as those stories are developing, get to know other people's stories within the company as well. We've got school teachers that I work with that are doing phenomenally well, that somebody might relate to better than they can relate to me or to my horse race lady. Let's see, what else? We've got students, we've got realtors that we work with, we've got attorneys, we've got judges, all these different various backgrounds that you want to know the stories of the people in your company so you can help relate to the people you're bringing into your company. So that's it for me for today. I hope this helped. In the meantime, go out and kick it, and look forward to talking to you soon.